everyone. My name is Andrea Barbosa. I work for Eura AG as a Senior Innovation Consultant, and I'll be your host today for this info session on the opportunities that we have to offer to SMEs under the Photonics and Quantum project PhotonQBoost. I'm here with my colleagues Kai Carvalho and Sidra Montara from two of our other consortium members. And before we start the session, just a couple of housekeeping rules for this session. I'd like to ask you to keep your microphones muted if that's not done by default, so we can run the session smoothly. Whenever you have any questions to ask to us, please write them in the chat. As soon as you have those questions, we're going to address all the questions all together at our Q&A session towards the end of the info session. For your information, this session is being recorded as well. And towards the end of the session, we want to take a picture also for promotional purposes within our social media of the project. In case you don't want to appear both in the recording or in the photo moment, please turn off your camera if you wish so. Having said the housekeeping rules, I will start with providing a quick overview on PhotonQBoost project, and then I'll hand over the word to my colleague Kaiki, that will further explain the open calls that we have for the benefit of the SMEs. Having said that, Kaiki, please, we can go to the next slide. Thank you very much. So, our project PhotonQBoost, or Photon and Quantum Technologies for Sustainable Industry, is a 4-year project that has started around 1 year ago. It will go, therefore, until almost the end of 2024. It's funded by the European Union through the Horizon Europe program. And its main mission is to empower SMEs to achieve sustainability, resilience, and global competitiveness through the uptake of quantum and photonics technologies. We know and we understand that these type of technologies, there is a hurdle for the SMEs to access this type of technologies and use that for the competitiveness of their businesses because of costs, because of lack of expertise, because of lack of access. And PhotonQBoost exists exactly to bridge this gap and provides a facilitated access to these quantum and photonics technologies for SMEs and startups, and help them through the uptake of those technologies to increase sustainability, resilience, and their competitiveness in the global world. Next slide, please. PhotonQBoost is deployed by a by a consortium of 10 partners, is led by Eura AG. We represent 9 EU member states, and we have a diversity of stakeholders involved in this partnership, with a strong presence of photonics and quantum clusters, research and technology organizations, innovation oriented consultancy companies. Each of us brings a different expertise and know-how that address the different type of activities that we are deploying under PhotonQBoost. Next slide, please. We have, building upon the mission that I mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation, we have set as our vision to build this sustainable interconnected European innovation ecosystem where photonics and quantum technologies are fully integrated into industrial value chains, driving green transition, technological sovereignty, and economic growth. So this is also very much aligned with the challenges mentioned earlier before. And how do we do that in practice? And more concretely, how do we support and benefit SMEs working with us under PhotonQBoost? We have 3 different streams or pathways to serve the SMEs. First, we have the advisory services in innovation, technology, and sustainability. Secondly, we have direct financial support to the SMEs with a total budget of 3 million euros to be distributed to the companies through 4 different open calls, and the matchmaking and ecosystem building type of activities that will be implemented through 7 different matching missions. The first one we had recently to Poland, the other ones are upcoming. We're now going to zoom in a little bit more into each of these funding streams. Please, next slide. In terms of the advisory services, we have 3 different domains in which these services are provided: innovation support, technology support, and sustainability transition support. As you can see, you have a link in the presentation as well as the QR code. I strongly appeal to you to scan this QR code. This will lead you directly to the onboarding form. It's a simple questionnaire that you can fill in, identifying your needs in terms of these advisory services. And this will enable you to enter into the pipeline of these advisory services of PhotonQBoost. Within each of these domains of advisory services, we have different type of concrete services that are provided. For example, under innovation support services, we have investment readiness and access to investors, or intellectual property guidance, or business model support, for example. Under technology support, we have services such as support to proof of concept type of activities, technology transfer guidance as well. Under the sustainability transition support, this is very much focused on deploying different steps of the life cycle assessment activities. Therefore, and once more, I bring you the appeal for you to scan this QR code so that you can fill in this form and immediately have access to the services and be part of our pipeline of services. Next slide, please. We also have the open calls, as I mentioned, more than 3 million euros in financial support to third parties, so money that goes directly to the companies to spend on these different services. And we have these distributed through 4 open calls. We have the matching missions, which is part of these ecosystem building type of activities. We have also budget to support training and services type of activities. Most of the bulk part of the 3 million euros of the FSTP goes to what we call the call for solutions and call for pilots, in which you're going to receive technical expertise and support to develop and uptake quantum and photonics related technological solutions. Next slide, please. And this is the overview of the PhotonQBoost project and its main service streams. I'll now hand over to Kaique that will go further into details of the open calls. Thank you very much. Kaique, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, André. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Kaique Carvalho. I am a Senior EU Project Manager at Splotto, and we're responsible for managing the open call in PhotonQBoost. So now, moving forward to our current open call, the open call for solutions, missions, trainings, and services. In this call, we have 3 different types of grants, right? So we're offering grants for solutions, for missions, and for trainings and services. The call was open on November 17th, and it's going to run until January 19, 2026. Its total budget is of 728,800 euros, 728,800 euros, and the maximum financial support for each SME is 50,000 euros. The target of this open call are SMEs that are operating in the photonics or quantum fields or integrating these technologies to their activities. That's quite important. The applicants don't need to have photonics or quantum as their main sector or technology field. They can be from any sector, and if they find an opportunity to include this technology in their activities, they can also apply to this call, and of course find partners that can provide them their technology. So Before we start, it's very important for everyone that is interested in the call to check the guidelines for applicants. This document contains all the information pertaining to the current open call and is available under our website. Okay. All applications should be submitted via the official application form, and the link for this form is available both in our website and in the guidelines for applicants. So our first grant is the solutions grant, right? So we're looking for SMEs to develop quantum and photonics challenge-oriented solutions, and they can receive up to 40,000 euros to do so, okay? Those challenges, so our partners conducted a series of workshops within those 5 strategic sectors, which are advanced manufacturing, agri-food, life science and health, mobility, and digital technologies, and identified 21 challenges, which are included in this call. And we're inviting all of you to contribute to those challenges and advance your solution, right? One of the criteria for this call, for this grant, is that the solution should be between the technology readiness level of the solution should be from 4 to 8, okay, which means validated in laboratory environment to an operational environment. We have 15 slots or 15 companies that we want to select. SMEs can join forces and submit a joint application. So up to 2 SMEs can require funding for this grant and receive up to 40,000 euros each. It's important to mention that they should submit their own application, and other partners, such as universities, large corporations, labs, test beds, etc., they can also contribute to the development of the solution via a letter of commitment that should be included in the application, in the SME application, okay? So the solutions, the development of solutions will receive support from our PhotonQBoost partners. The money will be paid as a lump sum, which means that no receipts or justification of costs are needed. The SMEs will need only to meet KPIs that are defined jointly with the project partners, and the payment would occur on month 1, 3, and 6. Okay, so whenever we reach the milestones associated to those KPIs, the payments will be made. It's worth mentioning that the solution development or the proposal for the solution development doesn't need to have 6 months, to take 6 months, okay? It could be less, a little bit less, a little bit more, but of course you need to justify why in your application. So that's our first opportunity for SMEs within this call. The second grant are the missions grant, okay? So the missions are events that that take place on 7 host countries, and they are conducted by our cluster partners from PhotonQBoost. Within those events, we run a series of visits, of activities, focus on access to the local innovation ecosystem, on building connections and networking, and also participants of the missions will receive, of course, expert guidance from our partners, and also future funding opportunities will be discussed in those events. We're looking for 20 SMEs to join each one of our missions, and the companies can join with 1 or 2 persons from each SME. So, of course, we are now discussing funding opportunities. Okay, so grants for SMEs to join those missions, but any other kind of company or SMEs that do not require the funding, they can also apply for the missions and join the missions. Okay, so in short, we are expecting 20 SMEs, more different players, different actors from the photonics and quantum local innovation ecosystems in each mission. For this call, We have two opportunities. The first one is the mission to the Czech Republic. It will be conducted in Prague from the 24th of March to the 26th. Companies that apply for this grant will receive 610 euros, and the focus would be on manufacturing and industrial optics. Our host for the first mission is the Czech optical cluster. The second one is the mission to Germany. It's going to happen in Stuttgart in October, early October. Companies will receive 830 euros to join the mission. Again, it's a lump sum grant. You don't need to justify your costs. You just need to join the mission and provide us with a feedback form afterwards, and you will receive the money from the grant. And our host for this mission is the Photonics BW, one of our partners from PhotonQBoost, and the focus of this mission will be mobility. Moving forward to our third opportunity, which is the trainings and service grant. So companies are invited to apply for up to 10,000 euros to acquire any training or service that enhance their resilience and or sustainability. Okay, it's a quite broad grant, so you can accept from equipment if you can justify that any service will improve your resilience or sustainability. You can apply for this grant. Before applying, we kindly request you to check the PhotonQBoost service portfolio, as we won't fund activities that are already provided by the project on a free of charge basis. We're going to select 15 SMEs to receive this grant. And a few examples, of course, as I mentioned, it's quite broad what you can acquire with this grant, but a few examples are of eligible activities are software development, standards and certifications, sustainability audits, and specialized consultancy or coaching. Those are the three opportunities that we're offering within this call. And to apply for the open call, it's important that you guys meet all eligibility criteria. Okay, so that's all eligibility criteria are mandatory, and there are a lot of applications that the companies don't meet those criteria, and in the end they cannot receive the grant and they cannot be approved. Okay, we're going to go on check each one of them, and of course, if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them in the chat. So the first one is the SME exists as a legal entity. Okay, so it's an operational company, and their activities are ongoing. Okay. The second one is that the company should meet the European Union's definition of a small and medium-sized enterprise, and the link for the proper definition is included in the guidelines for applicants. The company must be 6 months old or older by the conclusion of the open call on January 19th. The SME should be registered in a member state or a Horizon Europe associated country. Of course, the list is also included. List of countries that are eligible to participate in the call is included in the guidelines for applicants. All the required fields in the application form are completed in English, and all the documentation required is provided. Okay, so the only language that we're using for communication, not only in the application in the application process, but also afterwards, it's English. Okay, so no other language is accepted. The SME and its representatives have no conflict with interest with PhotonQBoost consortium partners. And then specific eligibility criteria for the solutions grants. The solution must be, the technology readiness level of the solution must be from 4 to 8. For the mission grant, we're not funding companies from the host country of the respective mission. So for instance, in the Czech mission, we won't fund Czech companies to join it. Of course, they can join it, but they cannot receive the funding. The proposal should be unique. That means that the activities described in the proposal cannot be partially or fully funded by another open call. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's quite clear. And yeah, the funding, the upper limit or the maximum funding that PhotonQBoost will provide for each SME within all of our open calls. Okay, we're going to have more open calls in the future. It's important to mention is 50,000 euros. Okay, so let's say that if you apply for all of the grants within this open call, and it's accepted, we're going to need to adjust the values to fit the upper limit of 50,000 euros per SME. As for the evaluation, each one of the grants will be evaluated taking into consideration 3 criteria: the impact, excellence, and implementation. Okay, they differ from each one of the grants, as well as the weight of each one of those criteria. Okay, and of course, everything is described in the guidelines for applicants. Each application will be evaluated by 2 experts in photonics and/or quantum, and they will assign a score from 0 to 5. 0 being not addressed, which means that our questions and the criteria were not addressed at all, and 5 being exceptionally addressed. The 2 scores provided by the 2 evaluators will be normalized, which means they will be balanced, taking into consideration other evaluations from each evaluator, and the average of those 2 scores will be your final score. So that's how evaluation is gonna take place. Now, as for the timeline, okay. So as I've mentioned, we opened the call in November on the 17th, and the call is gonna remain open until the 19th of January. After this period, we're gonna evaluate the calls, and that will take around 25 days. Okay, so on the 16th of February, we should be ready to inform all applicants about the results of the evaluation. And then all the applicants will be distributed in 3 groups. Okay, the pre-selected, the waiting list, and the not selected. The pre-selected, and I've mentioned pre-selected because after being approved, let's say by the evaluation, okay, after being selected, the companies, they need to provide their legal documentation, which we're going to verify, and this process called legal validation will take place until the 5th of March. Okay, so we're going to all the documentation is also mentioned in the guidelines for applicant, the required documentation. We're gonna assess if the company can receive the fund and is in order with the guidelines for financial support for third parties from the European Commission. If they are, they're going to be formally selected, and we're going to move to the sub-grant agreement preparation phase. The sub-grant agreement is a contract that will be signed between the SMEs, between now beneficiaries of the open call, and EURA, which is our coordinator from PhotonQBoost. We hope that by the end of March, we can have all beneficiaries defined and the sub-grant agreements signed that will enable participants to join the first mission. And the onboarding for the all other activities should happen in April, from the 1st to the end of April. Okay, that's pretty much my presentation.